be like label the Polaroids, but we're also gonna like tape them in.
This is the page all finished up.
Reading is not for everybody. If this isn't a reason for me to get back into drawing and stuff, I don't know what is. Woke up and was like, I want to do stuff today. It's not that deep. I asked you guys about potentially bringing back my hygiene era. Hello you guys, welcome back to another video. This video is going to be very much needed for me, and I hope it's much needed for you guys too. I have realized in the last month or so, especially after being home from the Disney College program and now not having a job or a true hobby, I am spending so much time on social media. It is so bad. It's wild, you guys. When I tell you that my brain doesn't even realize that it's on social media until the screen time timer comes on and it says, you have used up all your time on this app. I swipe out of it, turn my phone off, and 30 seconds later, I'm back on the app because I clicked ignore for 15 minutes and I do this all day, every day. It's so bad. I'm going to pull up what my screen time says that I spent on social media. This is only Instagram and TikTok because I don't really count Pinterest or YouTube as true social media because on YouTube, I don't scroll the shorts tab. I really just watch long form content on YouTube, and Pinterest is just pretty pictures without the social part of social media, you know what I mean? So I only really have this screen time set up on Instagram and TikTok because you have to have willpower to get off of them. Today I'm deciding we're going to implement this willpower because I've already used up my screen time availability for today, and it is 11:20 a.m. I have an hour set of screen time for these apps every day, and I've used it up, and I have had it used up already. I used it up by 10 a.m. and I still was like, okay, we're gonna go for 15 more minutes and then 15 more minutes, and then it's just an endless cycle that I've been stuck in for the last multiple weeks at a time at this point. So I'm gonna tell you what my screen time was like last week on average every day. Oh, this is really, really bad. 25 hours on social media last week. The average time spent on the daily, 9 hours, 23 minutes. Total social media time, 39 hours last week. Almost 40 hours because it's 39 hours, 55 minutes. That is so bad, so detrimental for my mental health. I've realized this at this point. I have dug myself into a very deep hole. This morning, actually, I went on my screen time and decreased my screen time availability from 1 hour to 15 minutes. And we're gonna see if that helps at all because it is so bad. I need to dig myself out of this hole ASAP, especially if I have big things coming up. Well, not really big things, but I am going to be moving at some point in the near future. I don't exactly know when, but my fiance has a job opportunity that's opened up, but the problem is that we don't know when his start day is. He's in a hiring pool situation. So once we learn that move-in day, we'll then be able to start doing all of the things that I want to do for documenting my life and all of that on here. And because I'm just in waiting mode, I'm just sitting here doing this all day, every day. And it is so bad for my mental health, for my physical health, for my eyes. So we're going to figure out some hobbies that I can do that don't involve social media. They can still have screen time because I'm going to be using things like YouTube and Pinterest to kind of combat my need for media without being an endless scroll cycle. So the first thing that we're going to do today is something that I have actually been doing for the last week or so, and I have really been enjoying it. It's been very therapeutic. It is junk journaling. I have seen this trend on social media. Like I said, I spent a lot of time on there recently. Some of it is for inspirational things. I saw this junk journaling trend and I was like, I want to do that. And I actually made a junk journal scrapbook of my college program. I guess I started it in September of last year, 2024, and I'm still working on it now because I have memories I still want to add in and stuff. So it's been a junk journal for 6 months, but the last week or so, I've actually been adding in the junk for said junk journal. I've just been hoarding a big folder full of stuff, and I've actually been able to implement them into my journal. So I'm going to pull it out real fast. It's underneath my desk here, and I'm going to show you what is in this. This thing is very chunky. It's only halfway used. So I'm debating on if I should just keep using this as a standard junk journal after my program, or if I should make this a Disney journal and I don't know, make mood boards or whatever in it. I haven't really quite decided that yet because I do want to still do junk journaling. I just don't know if it's going to be in this journal or a different one. Either way, I'm going to show you what is in here rapid fire because it would probably take a very long time. And if you want an in-depth video on my scrapbook for my college program, let me know in the comments because I'm more than happy to do that for you guys. guys, especially once I actually have all of my college program pages filled in. I think I have like 3 left to do in here, and then my college program is officially done. My cover page is just a picture of me and when my college program started and ended, and then it just has a bunch of pictures. So this is like my first move-in week here. I'm trying to make it so that it's easy to flip through, but also show you guys because it's heavy and chunky. But some of these things are like interactive, and there's a lot of like fold-outs and stuff like that in here. Again, more interactive things, and I've actually like put journal blurbs in here as well for like what happened during whatever time I was journaling about. This covers both my time in attractions and in PhotoPass, and I also have all of the other fun little things. If you've been watching my college program videos, you probably recognize a lot of these memories. This last one was my girls trip when Kendall came down to visit for Christmas, and then I have when I first started in PhotoPass here. This is my first week or so in PhotoPass here again, and then Christmas stuff, more Christmas stuff, more Christmas stuff. This is one of my favorite pages, honestly. It was all about Jollywood nights in Hollywood Studios. It was fun. More Christmas things, more Christmas things. This was when we got all of the holiday like coupons and stuff. I kept like the front page of that and put that in here. So as you can see, it's very much a memory-filled book, right? These are all of the like locations that I would work in. I've decided to continue this journey into an actual junk journal after my program. However, like I said, I don't know if it's going to be in this journal or in a different journal that I have somewhere. I don't really know that quite yet. Maybe it needs something like with rings, because I feel like this binding is going to get ruined pretty fast. That has been what I've been up to. This is the last page that I did, all of the guest gifts that I got. It's a lot. So I've decided today to finish up my college program junk journal stuff. This is all of my like goodbye book pages that all of my coworkers wrote for me. So this is going to be the pages that we work on today. We're going to probably watch some YouTube, but also work on this without touching the phone for scrolling. I might touch it for like answering texts or whatever, but other than that, I don't want to really touch social media as much as I can today. I was about to set you guys up for recording, but I realized I didn't actually show you what I've been using to like print stuff out and all of that. So I have 2 printers here that I've been using. The first one is this Kodak photo printer. It prints photos just like your like computer printer would, except it's a little handheld device and it works with Bluetooth. It's really, really great. I'm going to show you, let me see if I can find here one of the pictures that I printed using this device here. Okay, here's one. So this picture was of me and my fiance the day that we got, or the trip that we got engaged. So this photo here was printed with this printer. It looks pretty darn good. It's just on photo paper and all of that. And I have a lot of cartridges to put in here. So I have a ton of paper to use up for that. However, I also have a Polaroid printer. This is an analog printer, which means that I set my phone up with the picture on the screen on this little platform here, and I use this shutter button to push it down, and then this winds out the film. So it's a literal analog camera. It does not use any kind of batteries. It works great. I just have only like 3, it says, pictures on here, so I need to get some more Polaroid film for this. But either way, I still have this thing that I can use to print out pictures. That's the main thing that I wanted to talk about before we actually set up to do all of these journaling things. And now I'm going to set you up on a time lapse, and we're going to go through all of the other pages that I have to do before my college program section of this journal is officially completed. Guess my printer needs charging, so we'll go do that. We'll put these other pictures into the book, and then by the time the pictures are in, we should be able to print at least one more picture out of this. I was actually able to print my last big picture while it was still like connected to its charger. So it's currently charging next to my bed because the cord is very tiny. So we're going to put these pictures in and see if I want to add anything else and then do a little like blurb about it. So we're going to put these pictures in and see if I want to put any like tiny pictures in, because that printer can also do like collages where I can cut them out and stuff. And then I'm going to find some ways to maybe add a little spice to it, like some tape or some paper or something to make it a little bit more than just like a picture collage. So let's get putting these into the journal. I'm excited. There is no more room for pictures, so I think this is what we're going to be working with as far as the like layout and stuff goes. I'm going to fill out some like little blurbs probably at the bottom or something like that, maybe like label the Polaroids, but we're also going to like tape them in and look pretty. The scrapbook pages for today are done. I'm calling it a scrapbook, but is it also a junk journal? I think it's a little bit of both. Anyways,
This is the page all finished up with my friends. I think she's so cute.
and then there's also all the pages that I have with my goodbye book pages. Mostly just the first two here.
This one is a picture with all of my college program people. I tried to put all of my college program goodbye book pages all on one page so that I have this book to commemorate that. So this is all of my friends from the college program.
Specifically, obviously I had friends that were like part-time, full-time, and all of that, but my college program friends are basically all on that one page. And then I have this page here, which is taken on my last full day as a PhotoPass cast member. This was the day that I gave all of my things away, like my costumes and stuff. This person here is actually not a PhotoPass cast member. She was a character attendant. She took this picture of Mickey and I, and we worked together for the last month or so of our program consistently. Like I would always like show up with Mickey and Minnie and be like, oh, it's you again. And she was on an international program from Brazil. So I kept her book picture here alone so that I could put the picture that she took of both of us right here, ready for me to look at anytime I want. So shout out to Livia. I have a couple of pages left that I still have to find something to put with, but I have the one of my leader that actually wrote in my book. And then there's also my day one trainer that wrote in my book as well that I have to figure out something to put there. But that's basically the end of my college program scrapbook. I still have the page of my proposal, like I said before. This page here needs some more pictures and stuff, but I want to really dedicate a lot of time to that. So we're going to leave that blank for another day or another time today, maybe, to do it. I don't know exactly. I've also tried bullet journaling in the past. I did it throughout almost the entirety of college up until like my last semester or so of college. And I realized this is taking way too much time. I know it's supposed to be like a creative way to use your planner or whatever. It's like an incentive to use your planner. And I use my planner a lot, but I realized that it just took too much time, to be completely honest. I wanted to make sure it looked pretty. I wanted to make sure everything had a cohesive theme, and I needed to set out time to draw on it and color in it and make sure that everything was set up the way I wanted. That I was just like, this is causing more creative burnout than I wanted. I wanted this to be like a nice little creative outlet, but instead I'm spending way too much time on making it look perfect. A junk journal or a scrapbook like this means that you can put things together really cutely, but it doesn't take a whole lot of time because you're just slapping stuff on a page. So I like the happy medium of it, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun to start doing more consistently. But like I said last time, I don't know if I'm going to continue the junk journal thought that I have of like the random everyday things in this journal, or if this is going to be like more of a memory journal. I don't exactly know. I think I'm leaning more towards having this be more of a memory journal slash Disney specific journal than having this be like my true junk journal. So I'm gonna have to find another journal to make this as like my true junk journal, because I have a lot of journals out in my drawers and stuff and out in random places of the house. However, my issue is that they're all lined, and I like the idea of having like a dotted journal or even like a sketchbook of sorts being the thing that I use for my junk journal, because I don't like the look of lines behind things. I think it makes it look kind of cheap. So we're trying to figure that out still, but I know that I want to start it, and I want to start it relatively soon. So this was a good way to like be productive, put all of my memories all in one place again. It's also a way for me to
be off of my social media and be creative at the same time, you know what I mean? We've arrived to the bookshelf corner for this next segment about reading, or lack thereof, because I don't really read. As much as I would love to get into reading, I have tried before, even without the social media side of things and like trying to get off of my screens and all of that. With all of that aside, I have tried to get into reading as like an extra hobby, but I can't get past a couple pages without either picking up my phone or wanting to do something completely different that's not even relevant to my phone. Like I just get bored super easy. So because of that, I'm not really into reading. I don't really have an interest in getting into books at all, really. A lot of the books that I have are from middle school or early high school, such as these ones. I have the Cinder series, which I don't know if you're familiar with it at all, but it's like a dystopian version of a lot of fairy tales. So I have the whole series up here. I also have the Serafina series, which takes place in Asheville, North Carolina, which is why I got it in the first place. And I have a bunch of other like random young adult books, but they're not young adult as far as like fantastical ACOTAR level, you know what I mean? So I'm just not into it. I would rather read something like a self-improvement book, like Atomic Habits, which we're probably going to end up reading at some point in this video, or other books that are just like more nonfiction level, self-help, self-improvement things that I like to read, because I feel like those are actually educational for me. I learn stuff from them, and they're just like a nice, easy read without being like, I need to read like now. It's not like an addiction like a lot of people have. I still wanted to tell you guys about that because I feel like I'm going to get a lot of comments being like, why aren't you reading or doing something off of your screens instead of scrolling on social media? And that's why, because I just genuinely don't have an interest in reading. So hot take, but reading is not for everybody. However, one hobby that I want to do in this video is drawing and or coloring, because that is my probably very first memory that I have of my life ever. I remember sitting downstairs and drawing this really clunky version of like a Disney princess, and that's the majority of my childhood memories, to be honest, is just sitting and drawing or coloring. And I want to get back into that because obviously I loved it. I loved it for like 10 years. I didn't go anywhere without a sketchbook and either my iPod or a phone or something with a screen that I can look up a picture of something and draw it. And usually it was a Disney princess. Up until like maybe 7 or 8 years ago, I was drawing solely the princesses, just like in a cycle. I was obsessed. As you can tell, I am a Disney adult for a reason. I obviously love drawing and coloring, and it's just, I've always been an artistic person. But when I tell you that my very first memory was drawing or coloring, I found this sketchbook in my archives. You're probably gonna laugh at how weird these look, but think back to me when I was like 10 coloring these, okay? This picture of Jasmine, for example. She looks a little funky, but it was a hobby that I had consistently. This one is unfinished, I guess. This one's not bad. It's not terrible. Is there another one in here? I think there is somewhere. A lot of these sketchbooks are like half finished, a quarter finished, whatever. This literally only has 3 pages in it. It's the only sketchbook that I know that I still have from my like old drawing days. This picture of Stitch, not half bad, but still looks a little funky, you know what I mean? So my drawing skills have definitely improved over the years, and I am rusty because I haven't drawn in like 3 years at this point. So maybe we'll get into drawing, maybe we'll color something, maybe we'll do both. I don't know exactly. Either way, I'm gonna take you along for the ride today. I randomly the other day found my old coloring books that are more for like teenagers and adults than for children. I found these art therapy books. I have another princess one downstairs somewhere in the abyss of like all of our other hobby things. I have this one in my bookshelf here, which is why I came down here in the first place. This is obviously Frozen themed, and these coloring books are very, very, very detailed. This one was so detailed. I obviously started it but never finished it. So I want to maybe color in something that's a little bit less detailed, maybe like this one or something like that. Just something easy and simple and therapeutic. And maybe I'll watch like a movie or YouTube video or chat with my fiance or something like that in the meantime. This one of like Sven and Olaf is so cute. It's so tiny and detailed though. So we'll see if this ends up being more of like an irritation thing and maybe not as therapeutic. I would love to draw or color or something for this video because it's like my OG hobby. I brought you back over to my desk because I realized that I have this big old drawer down here of sketchbooks that are loosely drawn in but are nowhere near close to being filled up all the way, and I found my old / new sketchbook from Italy. This is my very last sketchbook that I bought recently, and it is authentic leather, made in Italy, in Florence. If this isn't a reason for me to get back into drawing and stuff, I don't know what is. I have a couple of drawings in here already. This one is of Tinkerbell. This was my last coloring project that I did last year. And then I have this picture that I have sort of drawn. It's like a half drawing of Disgust from Inside Out. And this was when Inside Out 2 first came out. I was like, I want to draw the Inside Out characters. There's only one Inside Out character in here right now. So I think what we're going to do is actually finish this Disgust drawing together. I want to maybe finish the sketch as well as at least start coloring it in. I have some artist level colored pencils in here that are getting dust on them because I haven't used them. So I think that is going to be the vibes for the next couple of hours. My camera battery died while I was coloring in Disgust, so she is like outlined. I haven't really actually decided if I want to truly color her in or not, just because the drawing itself is not my absolute favorite, but I decided to pull out my colored pencils and do one of the coloring pages in my Frozen book instead. She looks pretty cute, I think. It's just kind of fun to do all of the shading and things with the colors and picking out colors and stuff like that. Colors are just so fun for me. I think as a graphic designer brain, it's like, it scratches an itch, you know what I mean? My hand hurts, like badly. I always forget how much pressure you have to use to get my colored pencils to really look super pretty and vibrant, and it takes a lot of layers, and obviously these kinds of coloring book pages are very, very, very small and detailed, so my hand is like killing me right now. So we're taking a break from the coloring, and I'm just going to probably go downstairs because it is almost dinner time with my family. So we're gonna go down and do some dinner time stuff. Today has been a lot of fun doing a lot of my old like little hobby stuff and getting into a new hobby as well. The junk journaling stuff was a lot of fun. So I'll talk to you guys in a little while. Good morning, you guys. I think yesterday was a little bit of a success. Actually, a lot of a success. My screen time for social media yesterday was 4 hours and 16 minutes, which I think is pretty good considering the last couple of days has been like insanity. It's been like 6 hours, 7 hours, 8 hours. There's one day last week where I spent 9 hours on social media, and that's bad, and I understand that, which is why we're doing this video. So today I've only spent 32 minutes, and I used up both of my like time allotted things for today. I spent some time this morning scrolling, but it was more of an intentional scroll. It was like, okay, what kinds of videos could I see myself making? Do I have something, some kind of concept that could follow this trend? Oh, here's a video that looks interesting. I'll save that, or I'll comment on this creator's post because it's similar to what I make. Things like that that are more social media strategy versus just doom scrolling. So I think that was a pretty good win. Yesterday morning, I was just doom scrolling, but last night I was actually like going through and saving stuff and looking at potential videos that I could make. So I think it's a pretty good win. It's been really successful so far. This morning I even woke up and was like, I want to do stuff today. That's not normal. At least hasn't been for the last like week, because I have had literally nothing to do. I don't have my best friend anymore here because she moved to Maryland last week. Sadness. I also just don't have a job or anything to really do during the day other than maybe make videos. But like I said, I've been so into that I'm all caught up on my YouTube videos. So like I don't have anything to even edit really. So that's why I'm making this video for a couple of reasons. Obviously I need something to make for you guys, but also this is good for my brain and my mental health and my physical health. So anyways, today we're going to keep that momentum from yesterday going and do a couple of other small little hobbies and things to pass the time that aren't just sitting and scrolling on your phone all day long. And the first thing we're going to do, I think, is pick up my Atomic Habits book. This guy, as you can see, I have read a little bit of it, and I have been actually annotating stuff and writing in it and highlighting stuff and things that seem intriguing to me. However, I haven't picked this thing up since before I left for the Disney College program in September, so it's been about 7 months since I've picked this book up. And the good part about that is nonfiction books are usually pretty easy to pick up after a long time of not reading them. Obviously with fiction books and things that require storylines, it's kind of hard to remember what you've read about if you haven't read it for like 6 months. But I love this because
it makes it easier to get back into my reading without having to go through the book all over again. So we're going to pull out my pens and my highlighters and stuff and do some annotations and really dive deep into this because I want to get back into my habit of reading through my self-help books. We're just going to sit and chill for maybe an hour or so. I don't see myself reading more than a chapter of this, but I still want to read a little bit. So we're gonna do that right now. The problem is figuring out what highlighters I was using whenever I was annotating stuff. I used a lot of my liners and stuff, but I don't remember which exactly colors I used. So we're just trying to match stuff up, but it is what it is. That's not the end of the world either. Like, I realize that it's just reading, but the aesthetic person in me wants to make sure that everything looks the same and looks pretty and all of that. It's not that deep. I just read 3 chapters of this book and it wasn't even intentional. It was just, I keep reading and it feels good. So we ended up reading a lot more than I was expecting, which is great. But now I think since we're just sitting here on my bed anyway, I'm going to pull out my Nintendo Switch. My fiance gave me this. It's his old one, actually, a couple years ago. I think it was like 3 years ago at this point that he gave me his old one in exchange for a new one that he got for himself. I have a couple of games on it that are a lot of fun. They're really cozy. They're like little Mario games. I'm not super into things like Animal Crossing or Stardew Valley or anything like that. Like, I don't really like the whole building a world type of thing, but I love like little adventure games where like you finish a level and then you go on to the next level. And I have a couple of games on I almost said on my iPad, on my Switch that are very similar like that. Like, I have the Kirby Forgotten World game. I also have the Super Mario Wonder, I think is what it's called, or something like that. I have both of those games on my Nintendo Switch and I love them. So we're going to play a couple of games today and I'm excited about it. I'm going to play Kirby, I think, first. I think that one's a little bit more of like a cozier game and I have a lot of fun with that one. And then maybe we'll play Super Mario Wonder if we feel like it. But I still want to like play a game on my Switch today. So I'm going to go ahead and pull it out of the archives somewhere and we're going to play a little game for a while. Hi guys, so today has been really therapeutic. Honestly, it's been nice to kind of slow down and not be go, scrolling and just like not knowing what to do with my time. So it's been a lot of fun to just kind of sit down, do a couple of my favorite hobbies, and just enjoy the amount of free time that I have before I have zero free time whatsoever. Right now I'm basking in like the sunlight outside because it is such a gorgeous day outside, although it's a little chilly. So I'm enjoying it from the comfort of my inside heated house. But I don't know what the focus is doing. I hope that this was a little bit of a, I don't know, comfort, cozy video to watch because these days, obviously, things are going a mile a minute. So it was nice to kind of slow down a little bit and I hope you guys slow down with me. If you like this video, please leave a like. I would really appreciate it. Subscribe down below for more from me. I have a lot coming up in the next couple of weeks. Some content changes. I asked you guys about potentially bringing back my hygiene era of my channel when I was doing like Bath and Body Works content, because now that I am sitting here and like literally doing nothing, I feel like I don't have a whole lot to show you guys. So I was wondering if maybe you wanted me to bring that back, and a lot of you have said yes, so we might be bringing a couple of those videos back. Who knows? We'll see. It's not going to be like major hauls and stuff like that, but it'll be like self-care oriented, so I'm excited to make those videos again. Again, like I said, if you're interested in any of that at all, please subscribe, comment, do all of the things. I love to chat with you guys down in the comments, so let me know what you guys are thinking and how your day has been and all of that, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.